Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Spoken Word. I'm your voice, the host. We got a great show for you tonight. We got my girl, Jamila Rato here, and I probably jacked that up, and she'll let me know later if I did. And we got Maximilian Mazingo from downtown 81 Goldsboro. So stay tuned. You're going to enjoy it.
My name is Jamila Ratu, and this first piece that I'm going to do is strictly about how artists tend to express our feelings. Sometimes we, in our day-to-day, are not able to express our feelings like we would like to, and sometimes can come out in ways that we're not necessarily proud of at the end of the day. So this poem is strictly about how myself as an artist expresses my emotions, without bail money. So there you go. This is called Scribble. I cannot seem to verbalize the immaculate sunset card painted across the skyline. So in an effort to report how wonderful my God is, to those who have not realized his presence yet, or to those who like me that just need another reminder, I scribble and cross out and scribble and cross out so I can come up with most suitable words that will somehow give justice to the majestic golden blue rivers of testimony that mingle with silken humors. And my eyes begin to water as I push pen across pad, trying to capture this feeling before the peaceful brilliance in the darkness of night replaces this daily changing affirmation of who God is. So I write. I write because, nigga, I really want to punch in your throat. But I don't have enough bail money, and punk, you're not worth my freedom. And God gave me these weapons that are my pen and my past, so I'll erase you from my life between blue rose and white backgrounds, and I triple dog date across that red line that runs down my page. So I write. I write because I really want to profess my love for you. But every time I open my mouth, something utterly freaking stupid falls out. So to keep my size 9.5 foot from going any further down my quivering pie hole, I commence to scribbling my ode to you and your mama and your daddy for being responsible for this beautiful man that caused my mouth to get a little juicy every time I get in close proximity of this God in man's flesh. So I write. I write because I really don't want you to know how hurt I am. But I must confess my pain in some form, and if I keep this inside, it will devour me like some kind of flesh-eating parasite. And you don't deserve the opportunity to be the cause of any self-destruction that I might inflict on myself. So I bleed my anguish into black and white composition books and ink spatters onto page like blood dripping from my forearms after cutting. Just might feel something other than the way that you make me feel. So I write. I write because I want to laugh with no sound. I want to cry with no tears. I want to smile without anyone seeing. I want to yell without anyone hearing. I want to confess my sins without a priest. I want to lash out like a ravenous beast. I want to heal myself inside of some written lyrics. I want to write so much I get nauseated and vomit up microphone spit seed. I want to wish light to you. I want to chase death away from you. I want you to fully understand how much I love you. I want you to fully understand how much I just can't stand you. See, I want to record the injustice inflicted on my generation. I want to start a revolution in my people's degradation. I want to inspire like changing petitions. I want to write eloquent letters that will change wicked politicians' decisions. I want to start the fight now rather than later. And I want to do all of this beginning with one piece of paper. And for those of you who do not understand why people like me choose to bury our heads into notebook or jot down epiphanies or on the back of our hands or empty pizza boxes or walls or desks or matchbooks or anything allowing ink to seek in, quit trying to figure it out. Because unless you pick up one yourself, you'll never understand the power that we possess in our pens. And because God saw fit to bless all of us with this complicated but simple voice, for me, there is no other choice. So all right. Thank you. That good?
Got another one?
Oh, you want me to do another? Because I love, and for a long time I loved and didn't really know what it was, but I knew what I wanted. And I came across many examples of this love that didn't serve my heart well, nor did I serve the one that I was supposed to love well. So I wrote down how I wanted to love and how I wanted to be loved in return. And for a long time I did this poem, and I never had what I wrote down. And then one day I met and married what I wrote about. It was almost like I wrote my mate. So this poem is about that. Take my soul, only because you are man enough to share it with me. What we have needs no inane titles like commitment to relationship, bonding, or correlation. We just simply are. We are what others only hope that they will find in a lifetime. We are lyric. We are the epitome of the essence of jazz and blues and deep soul music wrapped inside of R&B and operatic overtures. We are wind. Breezes of adoration that dance the pattern of ballroom performers that long to be born flamenco dancers. We are science. Each detailed touch and taste has become a newfound discipline. We have studied each other's bodies and spirits in only a way that quantum physicists could comprehend. We are art. Fevered brushstrokes of painters willing to cut off unneeded extremities in dedication to what is purely defined as us. What we have are what poets wrap convoluted metaphors around because they are willing to allow themselves to be vulnerable enough to the possibility of something that cannot be defined as love, affection, devotion, or tender friendship. We just simply are. So we are math. Because we know that 1 + 1 does not just only equal 2, but also 7. Because when we execute a summation of our third eye wisdoms in sync, it can only be the equivalent of completion. We are balanced. Because we know the scales that measure the compatibility between the two of us never tips to one side more than the other, no matter how much the outside world tries to redistribute the weight, because nobody wants to see us together, but it don't matter, no, 'cause I got you, babe. We are melodious because our bodies have learned to commune in a language that can only be heard by the fine-tuned hearing of our desire for each other. We are water. Because no human being can go no more than 7 days without it. And what we have is not the exception to the rule. Hell, we can't go without talking to each other within the span of an hour. We are fire. Not your average blaze, but something similar to massive conflagration. What we have inside of us, blue flames aspire to grow up to be, in the intensity of furious passion flickering between the two of us has moved far past simple sex acts, but has ascended to levels of celestial orgasms only felt by way of osmotic pressure. We are not complicated, because when we touch, it just feels right. And when we talk, it just feels right. And when we look into each other's eyes, damn, Daddy, it just feels right. And we know that there's no pressure to put titles or governmental papers behind what we are, because we are simply just us. That's justice wrapped inside of just us. So yeah, Daddy.
Jay!
Shut up, Sean. No.
So, yeah, you know how we do. So look, we've been doing this for a long time. What, about 7, 8 years, maybe a little more?
Since 2013.
That's it.
Spoken word, yeah. I've been writing since I was 13.
Okay. Gotcha. Damn, Shiny, you know that.
Yeah.
Well, here's my question. First question. Why? Why? Why you put yourself out there? Why you bleed your heart into the paper and all this, talking about your personal business, your feelings? Why? What's the point?
Funny story. When I started, before I started doing spoken word in front of everybody, of course I was writing since I was like 13, because I was like a really smart kid, made straight A's, but I was a really bad kid. So My father got tired of coming from school. He's a pastor. So it was annoying for him to come from work, to come to school, to get me out of trouble every time. And he was like, look, we got to talk about this. He's like, you have to find some other way.
Another outlet.
To get this anger out of you. You got to find, because he was very like black power. So he always, you know, instilled in me who I am as a black woman. And when you give a child wisdom like that, they might take that and just go insane with it. So I always felt like I had to like put my foot down, you know what I'm saying, show my blackness, and you know that's what happened with that. And most of the places that we went to school were like predominantly white, so I always had problems because I was a little weird looking girl. And so he told me, he's like, look, here's a journal, write in it. I don't care what you write in it, write in it. And I was like, what you want me to write? So I did that for about a good month. And I was like, Dad, I don't know what to write. He was like, well, let me give you some introspect on this. He took me to the library, and he gave me a book called Cotton Candy on a Rainy Day by Nikki Giovanni.
Okay.
Fell in love.
That was it?
Poetry. I was already a fan of poets, you know, but in the schools that I went to, I only heard about Shakespeare and Poe and people like that.
Right.
And of course, I was fans of them, but to see a black woman do it in the fashion that she did it sparked a whole new love for me. Now, actually doing spoken word, though, I was in a really bad relationship, and I met this man in the mall. His name was Khalif Goodman, and he jumped out of nowhere and was
from
like,
the kiosk.
Yeah, jumped out of nowhere. Was like, hey, you look like an artist. And I was like, okay. He was like,
did he hit you with you want to hear a poem?
Yeah. So he was like, I got this poem for you. And he did his poem, like, blah, 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 blah. He just was running off this poem. And I was like, that's kind of dope. Because at the time, I was watching Dead Poet.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? HBO is real hard. You know what I'm saying? And dude was like, yo, I got this open mic, and I want you to come. You like this poetry? Come hear some more. I went to the open mic. He was like, okay, now that you're here, I know you're a writer. So he didn't know me from Adam. He didn't. I happened to bring my pad and pen, and I was sitting there writing. He's like, you about to get on this mic and do this poem you just wrote. And I was like, no, son, I ain't going to do that. No, that's not what's about to happen.
That's him.
So throughout the night, he kept doing it. He's like, all right, I tell you what, you ain't got no choice. He got on the mic and was like, hey, we calling Jamila up to the mic right now. And I was like, why would he do that?
Yeah.
So I went to the mic and I spoke this poem, and it was about, I think it was about like cereal, like my kids and cereal, like how they eat all my cereal and don't eat theirs, like eat all my good stuff, and then they leave me to eat raggedy stuff to eat, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But that was what was the poem about. And after I got off the stage, you know, people enjoyed it, they clapped, you know, okay. But this lady came up to me, and she had just did a poem about having HIV, had everybody in the room in tears. And she came up to me and she's like, I don't think you understand how much that poem meant to me. And I looked at her, I was like, chick, you dying? And you thought my poem was cool?
Yeah.
And I knew right then that it was an outlet not just for myself, but for other people. And that's why I continued to do it, because I had this hunger to get this out of me. And so long I kept everything to myself, and I wanted to get it out of me. It was like therapy. And every time I got on mic, it was like how if you're sick and you have to purge everything out of you, get that sickness out of you.
Yeah.
That's what the mic did for me. I purged everything on the mic, and it changed the way I was. It gave me the power to get out of that relationship, which I had to do it a long time, and it gave me the power to step out in the community and do more work for community work, and it gave me the power to be a businesswoman. It just really pushed me to do things that I never thought that I would do, because I kept myself closed down. I started shutting off. It unlocked a beast, dude.
Yeah.
It did, not necessarily the poetry itself, but it unlocked a whole nother person in me. And that's why I continue to do the spoken word aspect of things. It was beautiful, man.
Yeah, I just do it But now I can relate, the therapeutic part of it, the catharsis. It was therapy for me. actually, that's what the book is about. That I just published is more about therapy. This is what I was going through, putting out there. But the funny thing you said, like your dad gave you this new wisdom, this knowledge, right, about writing, or just in teaching you who you are as a black person. You in school, like,
Yeah, I got so much.
and you like, you got to be careful what you tell kids because they might not take it in the sense that you intended. Thing with me, like my fascination with words, my grandmother. I told some people the story. My grandmother tells me when I was 7, I'm a comic book kid, right? Got all the comics. My mother used to read me comic books for bedtime stories, but she had to make the sound. Like, Mama, you ain't make the sound, Mama. She got to go pow, all that, right? My grandmother tells me that if I learn words, I'll be powerful, right? And then she tells me Malcolm X had learned the whole dictionary. I didn't even know who Malcolm X was at the time. I'm 7, but I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can learn the whole dictionary, but I can learn words, right? So when she tells me if I learn words, I'm gonna be powerful. In the 7-year-old mind, I'm thinking there's gonna be a number. When I get to that number, amount of words that I know, it's gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna get the power. Yeah, I'm gonna get the power, right? When I get older, I realize what she meant. I will be powerful because I mastered the language, the words, and I can articulate myself any way I choose to. And it gave me the power. And her and my mother gave me the love and desire to read and to write and everything and whatever that came from that. But similar, kind of similar, different but similar. Like she told me something and I took it and ran with it in a way. But then it's stuck, and then I'm stuck with wanting to know words. Like I still look up words to this day. Right? I don't know that word. And learn it, master it, now I got it. And you know I say something.
I used to do that, man.
And that's what it is. But look, thank you for coming, sharing your craft with us and everything.
Thank you for having me.
Where are you going to be at next? What you got going on?
Next, First Amendment. It's a poetry event that happens in Goldsboro. They usually have it like I want to say it's like the second or third Thursday in the month. It's at the Laughing Owl in Goldsboro, and I will be there. And also, I think it's first Saturdays. Was it first Saturday or first Fridays?
First Saturday.
First Saturdays every month in Goldsboro. Also, a part of the Downtown 81 art and open mic show. I'm hosting that as well.
Flying Shamrock?
Flying Shamrock, first Saturday. And it's an amazing show. Get to see some great art. Get to hear some great works from people. People are just like drawn while you're there. And it's amazing, man. So, yeah. Downtown 81.
I love it. I've been there. It's a great show. You guys
First
can check it out.
Downtown
Yeah. Once again, thanks, kid. And I'll see you soon.
All right.
All right. Something a little bit different. We want to give you some information. We're going to talk about some art, some movements, or a particular movement that's going on in Goldsboro. And we now have this artist right here in Kinston in the midst. And it's a very interesting story. And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Maximilian Mazingo. What's up, Max? What's going on? Good to see you.
How you doing?
Welcome to the K.
Right.
Literally and figuratively.
Right.
You know.
Thank you.
But we're going to jump right in. You're an artist.
Yes, I am.
Um, What got you into art? Like, what? Just used to draw, scribble when you were young?
Well, yeah, it's kind of a good, funny story. I always could sketch and draw and just my imagination a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, when I was younger. But I really didn't start painting till about 3 years ago.
Okay.
I painted one time in high school and didn't like it, so I never painted
Yeah,
again.
left it alone.
I always took it for granted, you know.
Right.
I might be dueling or something around at work, just wasting time. I never took it serious until about 3 years ago. I came into a crossroads, or like a dark time of my life.
Right.
And it was the only thing I had. And I believe everything happens for a reason. So I grabbed onto it and been riding the wave ever since.
Gotcha. So any like technical or school training or anything like that? Any
no.
classes or anything?
No, I'm your raw outsider artist. It just comes, it just flows out, and it's kind of organic.
Yeah.
No teaching at all. So.
But you know, I think sometimes that's the best way. Like even as a writer, you know, even though I'm actually taking the class now to teach me, you know, basically how to structure some things. But you got it or you don't. You know, some things you just can't teach. You know, it's just you have it in you.
Absolutely.
You know, and it resonates with people. But still, in that lane, like, who are some of your favorite artists? Like,
Oh wow.
past, present, future.
I was
maybe?
really influenced around the New York scene around the 80s.
Like Basquiat and them?
Basquiat, Warhol, Julian Schnabel, Keith Haring, a bunch of other artists that came out of that period, just and the whole movement and kind of like almost like a renaissance at that time.
Yeah, it was.
Just pushed forward and it really influenced me. And,
Yeah, it was like a new emergence
Right.
during that time. You know,
Right.
like, not saying art had ever died out, but it was like a revolution or something. It came back around real hard, and they was doing some dynamic. Basquiat was one of my favorites.
me too.
It's funny, before Jay-Z even said anything about him, I knew who he was.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just thought his art was incredible. So, tell us about Downtown 81. What's that all about?
Well, actually, the movie, New York Beat, it's coined phrase Downtown 81. It kind of encompasses that whole movement that they had of artists coming from all over the place, emerging on downtown, and kind of steering and creating their own culture and just pushing it out there for the masses. So I was inspired by that, and I just coined the phrase, you know, Downtown 81. It kind of represents what we're trying to do. Goldsboro with some phenomenal artists, like you just heard one now. Photographers, film, dance, whatever you do, any kind of performing art, just coming together as a collective and create some dope stuff.
Yeah, I've actually. It's fun to be a part of the film for Jamila.
Right.
You know, and it was just an exciting moment. You know, just to be a part of that was grateful for the invite and to see the complexity and diversity of this collective. Like typically you'll have like a bunch of poets, or you have a bunch of writers, or you have MCs, or DJs, or whatever that particular medium is. So to see this collective being diverse, and it's like, okay, I got a photographer, I have a videographer, I have poets, I have painters, writers, singers, whatever, and it all come together, and to be able to work with each other to incorporate these things in projects is a great.
Right.
It's phenomenal. It's almost unheard of for this area.
Right. Yeah, just the get together and mesh and gel and let go of all ego and just let the creativeness of the whole group just take over. I think that's really powerful.
Yeah, it is. It is. So you got that going on in Goldsboro.
Right.
And now you're in Kingston.
Yeah, I'm officially a Kingstonian.
Yeah, so tell them about that, because for those of you in the Kingston area, I'm going to bring this all home for you, okay? From some things that are going on in the news, and here's a product of this particular movement that was portrayed in the news. So we'll get there, but let them tell the story.
I found out about this program that they were doing here. It was an artist relocation program in the Arts and Cultural District. And, you know, I got to talking with the people and came down for an orientation, you know, just to see what it was about. And when I got here, we took tours, talked with a couple of people in the district, and they're really trying to really bring the arts and cultural community together, like a hub. And I thought it was very interesting, the direction that they were going, just starting at a base level. I thought it was something that I can really grow with and really become a part and just put my foot in there and just help the movement that they're trying to do, just build up the arts, let more people know about it, and just to rejuvenate the downtown area of Kingston. So.
Yeah. So, folks, for those of you in the Kingston area, I don't know if you remember that in the news there was a arts enclave that they were talking about over in the Blunt Street area, and they were going to bring artists in, so on and so forth. And it was bit of an outrage or a backlash in the black community because we was like, well, hey, what about black artists? You know, and then it was like, well, they weren't trying to bring anybody necessarily local from Kinston, but bring in sources from outside of Kinston, you know, from different areas. Max here happens to be one of the people that will be in the enclave. He'll be doing his thing, you know, working, but it's one of us. You know what I mean? Like, that was important to a lot of people to have the diverse representation, because art is not dictated by any culture. It's by all culture, you know, and us people of color being the original culture, like we're the architects for everybody and everything else. You know, waxing a little political, but oh well, that's what I do. So, how do you feel about that though, being a part of it, even though,
Right.
I just got to put it out there, this white guy has his program.
Right.
And because you could catch some backlash saying, hey, well, why you messing with the white dude?
Right.
Or do you see it as, hey, I'm willing to do this because I'm trying to push the movement or the culture forward and what we're trying to do? Like, what's your take on it?
Right. I think you just nailed it right there. It's all about pushing the culture forward, and you know, especially being, you know, African American. You know, we, you know, come a long way and still fighting and still striving and still pushing forward. So I just thought to be a part of this program, I'd be doing my part and doing all I can and opening doors for other people to push the culture forward. So I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited to be a part of it, and I'm excited that of the whole Smart Artists Kinston program and the team. They're really out to, you know, help artists pursue their careers in management, different type of areas, gallery etiquette, and things of that nature. So I think it's a real, pretty dope program, and I'm just here to do that, be me, and push it forward.
Gotcha. So you're going to bring any of the downtown 81 flavor, you're going to bring that here to Kinston as well?
Oh, absolutely. The same movement we started down in Goldsboro. I'm going to, try, do the same thing here, and just, meet the right people and just fill out the area, and build that following here as well, and just keep it moving.
Okay.
And we grow.
Sounds good. Tell people where they can get your art.
You can check me out on all social media, Facebook, Instagram at OFTHEPALM of the Palm, and you can find me that way.
Okay, it's some great work. I have some prints myself. About to have them framed up, put around the house and everything. An amazing artist, good man, and we're just trying to push the culture forward. So, everybody, Maximilian Mozingo. Appreciate it, Max. See you soon, man.
Can I give a shout out to a couple
Yeah,
of
man, go. Yeah.
The Downtown 81 Collective. We have the lovely Miss Ratu here. We have she's a lovely poet, writer, and so many other things. Jay Jacob, director extraordinaire. John Childs, writer extraordinaire. Chaos, a hip hop machine. Robert, poetry. She's gonna be mad if I say it, but pants. Jess, set design, all that. So we really have a good team, and just gonna keep it moving. And Anthony, how you doing, bro? Great photography.
Yeah. So look, welcome to Kinston. If you need to know about any spots, holler at your boy.
Right.
You know, native. I know all the ins and outs.
Right.
You know.
Well, I definitely be calling on you.
No problem. Look forward to working with you again
Thank you,
soon.
sir.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, folks, there you have it. Another episode of Spoken Word. We had the soul-stirring poetry of Ms. Jamila Ratu. We had a chance to talk with Maximilian Mozingo about art and pushing the culture forward and taking advantage of opportunities when they come. And hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned. We have another episode coming up soon. I'm your voice. Peace.